Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on November 30th, 2018. Remember, you can catch us live without a net Friday mornings on YouTube, or you can consume us via your favorite podcasting player.
Yes, and do follow along with us in our show notes. Just head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
All right, first up in news this week, Facebook is expanding its group watching feature called Watch Party to every page and profile. And Watch Party, in case you didn't know, or in case you don't participate in those parties, it's a feature that allows users to simultaneously watch videos together online. And this was previously in a limited beta, and it is now, and it previously was in groups as well, and it's now rolled out to all profiles and all pages. So you can now watch everything together with everybody. And it also is getting 3 new features. Those features include threaded comments now, so it's not just one big vomiting of comments in a row. And there's also live commenting, which gives hosts the ability to go live and comment aloud as a video plays. And you can also schedule your watch parties now. So you can let people know that this super awesome watch party is coming up soon.
I feel like that's something that probably should have existed the entire time, the scheduling.
Yeah. Right? I mean, it's nice to get an invite to a party.
Yeah, especially one of these no vomit parties. Now, I like the idea that anyone can do it. I feel like that's a good thing. I'm not hating on that at all, but I could just feel the sadness of one person being like, oh, I'm going to start a watch party. And, if you couldn't schedule it ahead of time, be like, oh, where's everybody?
It's like a pop-up.
Yeah.
It's just pop-up parties.
Yeah, for people.
And with just watch party in general, I really like the thought of this, where you can have something in kind of, because you get that dual screen sometimes where you're like, what is going on here? And then you're looking at Twitter for commentary. And if you got a bunch of like-minded people, it makes total sense to do this. And it makes sense to give it to everybody as well. So I really like this move. Even for, brands everywhere, this makes a ton of sense to say, hey, we've got our new commercial, let's have a watch party. Anything. I mean, it could be tutorials and you have a watch party on getting an influencer to cook a recipe or something like that. So I think this is really cool. It's nice that it's out to everybody, and hopefully more people using it, there'll be more adoption as well.
Yeah, and I really like that you don't have to have a group anymore, that a page can do it.
Yeah, love that.
More from Facebook. They are connecting people to local news and their communities. Facebook has a new Today In, is what it's called. It's a new section in the app. It makes sense, right? I feel like it's aptly named. It's basically an aggregation of local news and community information all in one place. Again, it's in its own section of the app. I don't have this yet, which is kind of a bummer because according to the map, we should, because Buffalo is one of the 400 cities in the U.S. that this is available in, so maybe it just doesn't think I live close enough. You don't have the app, right? We talked about that last week, so you don't know whether or not you have it. They're also, for our international listeners, they're testing this in Australia too. So, hey guys, check it out. But the government and first responder pages have an interesting opportunity with this too. They can add alerts. So anything time sensitive or need to know information. The example they gave was during a hurricane. The government could put out information on where to go, what to do, things like that. So it's good for emergencies, but also just if you want to pay attention to what's going on in your community, Facebook's giving you a place to do that.
Yeah. And the interesting thing I thought with the, what do we call it, Today In section, the interesting thing in Today In is the fact that not only are news items pulled in, but also page posts as well. So it's not something where you just want to auto post every link out there, but the post itself and the content within that post is going to matter. And also events coming in, group content from groups around Buffalo or whatever city you're in. And even school announcements, which is just weird.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's, some people might need that. Like, lunch today is tacos.
Opt into the taco talk, though. I don't want that defaulted.
And I think they did say, this might have just been for those alerts, but I think there was a limit on how many things that you could post in a month to this. Okay. But I think it was just the alerts. It was something like 30. So I double check that, guys, if you're reading on this. The other thing that I thought was interesting was they called sections of the country news deserts. So places where there's not a lot of local news, they said that you can still get your hyper-local news, and it will also then pull in stuff from the bigger metropolitan areas around it. So if you're not on the map that is in the article, you can still get some local news. Cool stuff.
Awesome. All right, next up, Google really launches 0 results for time, conversion, and math.
Really?
And this comes from Barry Schwartz over at SE Roundtable. And before, this was back in March, where Google had experimented with testing out just answers in search results. And there was a whole bunch of hullabaloo, and conversation about the fact that when there were no results or no pages showing up, for some searches, there were actually ads that showed up, and this kind of got pulled down pretty quick, and it's back. And it is back to show that there will just be answers, and it will only be on mobile.
And no ads, right? Because I tried
no
it, I
ads.
did not see an ad.
Correct. You're correct. They said that is fixed. There will no longer be ads showing up as well. And the queries should be specific to time, calculations, and conversions. So that will be when you may not see any actual results other than the answer. But there are also times when that is not the case. So Google will try to look at the intent that you have. So let's say you're looking for time this is an example they use, time in India. You may see that translated. But if you do time in New York, Google might think that could be closely related to New York Times or Time New York. So there still is going to be some configuration and just thought behind that. So it's not an absolute, but look for less results in your search results coming soon on mobile only.
I'm kind of okay with that. I feel like there's times when I just want to know how many cups or how many ounces are in a cup, I think is what I Googled earlier, and I got the answer. I was like, cool. I don't need to go to a page for that, I guess.
Yeah. The last thing I want when looking to do math is for an explainer on how to actually figure out calculus on my own.
So with that, I wanted to test this. So I started to type in 1+, and I was going to just do 1 + 1 and get the calculator and just make sure that this worked. But
wait, breaking news.
Yeah.
It's 2.
Well, so that's what you would think. But one of these suggested searches, which I then clicked on, is 1 + 1 = 3. And people are typing that into Google, and there's all this content about it, and there's like videos and everything. So
it's probably a song, don't you think? I could see that being like a Will Smith song. Like 1 + 1, you and me = 3 or something. I could see that being a song.
Like I don't know.
My guess is it's a song.
But it wasn't. It was like presentations, like people with whiteboards and like doing.
Okay.
I mean, I hope it's like also a song because it sounds romantic.
Is this like Flat Earth?
Yeah.
Really?
But it blew my mind. There's a lot of content. So if anyone's bored, it's something to check out, I guess.
I'm really looking forward to the logic behind this. I'm going to go do a deep dive after this.
Perfect. Report back next week.
All right. Next up this week, we've got my favorite thing coming to YouTube. Stories. And this is from the YouTube creators blog, and the title is called Introducing More Ways to Share Your Stories on YouTube. And like many others, YouTube is now adding stories to their system.
And you're a big fan of stories, we all know.
I am not a big fan of stories at all. And I think that this is currently for 10,000 subscribers. You have to have that many for this to actually be activated for you. And it'll be interesting to see if this takes off.
Yes, it will. The thing I liked about it, because we have to find a positive in this, is that people can comment on the stories, right? That makes sense. But then the content creator can go back and post like a video response to the comments or an image or things like that. So I feel like it could be a really good way to engage with your followers if you wanted to use it for that. But it would be nice if you could just do that anyway. It doesn't have to be in a story. And they also did say that they're going to expire after 7 days. So I feel like that's longer than most stories on most platforms. So you have a little bit more time to engage with folks, but
awesome. And so now it's first started with Snapchat with the stories, then went to Instagram as they ripped it off completely. Then Facebook said, let's try to get the old folks using our Facebook platform to use stories. And then as we heard last week here on Marketing O'Clock, now Microsoft, who owns LinkedIn, is doing student voices stories. And now it's come full circle as Google is doing stories. Man. And it's just Google doesn't know how to do social. They just Frankenstein things on. You can follow businesses from maps, put stories on your YouTube. What's next? Hashtags?
Yes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, actually.
So look for that. If you've got 10,000 followers, you will now have the ability to use YouTube stories. Hooray. All right.
Oh.
And that brings us to this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew, pew. Cheers it up.
Before the lightning round, I have another hot tip from our stats and corrections department.
Oh, okay.
I have a correction to our correction from last week.
Okay. Correction of a correction. Go.
2 weeks ago, Google had launched an image optimization service called Squoosh.app. And when announcing this, I mistakenly called it Squish. Oh, shoot. I don't.
Squoosh.it, right? That's what you said.
Squoosh.it is what I said.
That was the mistake. Yes.
It's really Squoosh.app. So last week, I tried to correct myself. And I said smoosh instead of squoosh. So I'm correcting my smoosh. And it is squoosh.app. And this is a lesson in marketing. That you pick real names of things and real top-level domain extensions when choosing something that's important.
And real words?
And real words,
like
yeah.
squoosh?
I know. Like so anyway, sincere apologies to the people I've been leading around for the past 2 weeks. It is, I don't even know what it is anymore.
I think it's squoosh.app.
Squoosh.app
Yeah.
to optimize your images.
Poor people have been out there searching for smush.it and everything else.
I hope it's been nothing but savory things you've seen there. So.
Oh, goodness. We can pray. All right. Should we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. We'll talk about it again next week, I'm sure. So first up in the lightning round, Google Ad extensions. Nope. Google Ads extending call and message reporting to more places. There's something about extensions in here. I messed up my words. So calls from location extensions can now count as conversions, which is good. Why the heck wouldn't you want to be tracking that? And you can go into your extensions tab to see reporting right there on calls and messages that come through from your extensions.
Nice. And I don't know why I thought of this. It's not related to the story.
Say it anyway.
Did you see the Google call screening that's coming from Assistant?
I saw one of the fellas around here trying to use it, and he announced to everyone he was using it, but I didn't see what happened.
It's so cool.
Is it
actually
cool?
I get a ton of spam calls. I don't know what these people, I don't know who answers these. It's like a boat saying like you won tickets to stuff. And
I want that call. I'd answer that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're the one that's doing it.
No.
But there's a cool service where Google Assistant is going to screen calls for you. You have to say your name and then you can see it come through. So you don't even have to answer these fraudulent calls, which is going to be a lifesaver for me at least.
That's pretty cool.
But that had nothing to do with what you talked about. It's just something cool.
We can talk about cool things. It's
All
Marketing
right.
O'Clock.
Next up this week, Bing is teaming up with Intent Lab to add deeper AI-powered insights to search. And Microsoft has a new strategic partnership with Intent Lab, which is a joint venture between Performix and the Northwestern University of Medill. That studies the motivations behind consumer purchasing behaviors. And basically, this is going to help them figure out intent and ads. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. But the focus is on the relationship between words and user search queries and those used in ads. If you want to learn more, there's what I'm sure is going to be a scintillating webcast coming on December 6th, so you can learn more.
Yeah, and heads up, you have to actually register for that webcast if you want to watch it. So I already registered. And
you had no problem getting in?
I had no problem.
Not sold out yet?
It's not sold out.
Okay.
Tickets are free and it's not sold out. So y'all should go and register. That way it sends you a calendar invite and an email reminder and all that, so you don't have to worry about anything. I like to do those sorts of things. Next up. From Black Friday to Cyber Monday, consumers spent more than $4 billion on mobile. That's a pretty big deal. Also, in general, reports are indicating that mobile traffic or more traffic on the retail side of things came from mobile than desktop. So not only were there a ton of actual sales happening on mobile, but just traffic in general as far as researching purchases happen on mobile. So if you're a retailer and you don't have a good mobile experience on your site, you could be losing money this holiday season and beyond. So something to take note, people are buying on mobile. Pay attention to your mobile experience.
I like this is Black Friday as well. Like I hope there's less tramplings because people are sitting at home on their mobile devices. And then this just got me thinking in general of how incredibly stupid Black Friday and Cyber Monday is in general.
Yeah.
That we as a society wait all year for something to go on sale. Like the Google Home Hub, you couldn't sell that for $99 the entire year. What is going on?
Probably could have. Were there any Portal deals on Cyber Monday?
I was hoping we didn't talk about Portal.
We have to talk about Portal. We like it.
You're using the term "we" very, very loosely.
You and I.
And I what if there was a store that just had sensible pricing? Like this is our price, and you didn't have
mind blow.
But how is the Google Home Hub $50 off for Black Friday only? Just make it the whole year.
But was it even Black Friday only? Because it was probably Cyber Monday, which turns into Cyber Week, which turns into Christmas deals, and then next year they'll just lower the price.
Anyway, I just think the whole thing is for the birds, as they say.
I don't think birds trample over each other to buy a Tickle Me Elmo.
All right, next up, Google Search Console updates index warning or index coverage reports for mobile first indexing. And what Google is doing is for the index coverage report that still use the non-mobile first in all of the data. And so the index coverage report now is getting that data from the mobile first indexing initiative.
Good. It should. That makes sense.
And that started on December 26th. So if you see any wonky...
November 26th, right?
Yeah, what did I say?
December.
Oh, yes.
You're going ahead of time.
It's not like the post-Christmas special. It was November 26th.
Excellent. YouTube gave a heads up to its users. They are removing annotations, ad-supported shows and movies, and video credits in 2019. So again, a lot of outdated features are officially going away in 2019. It's early 2019 too. I think they said January. So you have like a month to get ready. But if you're still using any of these features, check the link in the show notes. You can go in and the forum gives you suggestions on phasing these out and what else to use instead. So they're not just telling you they're going away. They're trying to be helpful, give you some other tools to use to take care of your stuff.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is the annotations, but they weren't working on mobile anyway.
No.
So just if you have annotations, you can still go back through and try to do that. And Google gave a heads up. I'm giving you a heads up right now.
Me?
Yes, about YouTube.
Yeah.
There is a playlist out there that is just fantastic. Whenever I'm feeling down, I always go to this playlist. And maybe we'll link to it like the way you should if you used to have an old annotation here. We'll put it up on YouTube, but it's called Important Videos. And there's about 350 or so videos in there. Whenever I'm feeling down, I just go to Important Videos and I think, you know what, this is really what's important in life.
And they are important.
They're the best.
They're very culturally relevant.
It is the best thing ever compiled. It's like I really would love to know who did that and shake their hand.
Yeah. The fact that they called it Important Videos.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, it starts with ye. So if you don't know what that is, look it up.
Get yourself ready. All right. Next up, Amazon's own machine learning university is now available to all. And there is a AWS certification for machine learning. And you can kind of pick out of 4 different paths that you want to choose. You can be a developer, a data scientist, a data platform engineer, or a business decision maker.
I like these little icons.
I know. And it's a free learning course that Amazon says that they used internally. And you only have to pay if you take an exam, or there's some other supporting material, I believe, that is outside of the core learning. And I just love anything free information. So kudos to Amazon with this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of information and using it improperly, LinkedIn violated data protection by using 18 million email addresses of non-members to buy targeted ads on Facebook. You heard it right. They took a list of email addresses that sounds like they didn't necessarily have the right to use and used it to try and buy ads on Facebook to try and get these people to sign up for LinkedIn. which is a little bit crazy. And so, Europe wasn't happy about this. It's absolutely not GDPR compliant. They don't look very good for doing that, for sure. I guess they've ceased since being found out.
You know what also doesn't look very good is when you're using somebody else's platform to buy ads. Just in general, like I'm always like, what's going on here? When you see something like, hey, it's Facebook portal that's buying ad space on, let's say, YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe your ad, it makes me second guess what your ad platform's really about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an act of desperation, and then you layer it with the fact that you're not being trustworthy in your data handling. So it's not good. But really, it just goes to show for our listeners and what this means for them. Obviously, even if you're not as big as LinkedIn and your email list isn't that large, just make sure that your targeting and your data is in check and you're not violating policies because people are paying attention.
Great. Okay, next up this week is an article from Medium called "We Are Google Employees. Google Must Drop Dragonfly." In case you don't know, Dragonfly is a truncated or condensed monitored search engine that's proposed for China. And due to Chinese law, it would have to be some surveillance included in this. And many of the Google employees, and this is a hypothetical product being built by Google, and many of the employees are against it due to the human rights issues that it may cause, the surveillance, and just something to note that there's a lot of rumblings. Before there were some sexual harassment issues a few weeks back. Now there's some disagreements with Dragonfly. Just interesting stuff going on over there at Google.
Yeah, a lot of hot topics. I like the name though, Dragonfly. It sounds nice. Sounds a lot nicer than what it actually is. So I feel like polishing a turd, is that the phrase? Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. It depends. Is this going up on Dragonfly or is this on regular YouTube?
Ooh. Just regular YouTube.
Okay, you can say that.
Okay, good. YouTube is going to be adding its original content to the free version of YouTube. So it's already behind the paywall and they're going to be pulling it out and allow people to watch it for free just as long as ads are showing. So advertisers, I guess, just keep a heads up. This could be premium inventory to buy, but it's nice to know that you don't have to subscribe to YouTube Red or anything like that to get some new original scripted content. It's a big deal.
I don't think anybody ever did that. And it used to be called YouTube Red, and then it changed to YouTube Premium. But YouTube Red was the worst name ever. And then it's YouTube Premium, and you get these originals, which I don't know what YouTube Premium is going to be anymore. Apparently
ad-free content.
You can get early access to original exclusive content as well. So you can get early access now with YouTube Premium. So all you formerly YouTube Red, now YouTube Premium users, at least you get some stuff early.
Hey, the three of you, listen. Do you know how much it is? I didn't look up how much it was because I have zero interest.
I think it's like $9.99 a month. Don't quote me on that. You're going to have to Bing it yourself to find it out. All right, next up, YouTube is launching Pods. A cool name, but maybe a bad product. It's actually not that bad.
We'll see.
They're skippable back-to-back video ads. We talked about this in the past. And the rationale behind these ads is that your content won't need to be broken up as much. So instead of showing one ad, there will be back-to-back ads that can be skippable or have one skippable and then one that is non-skippable. So there's just going to be two bumpers, but hopefully it will give you more time to watch in between ads.
It's a little reminiscent of TV commercials, I feel like, just blocks and blocks of ads. I think it's great for content creators, for sure. It will be interesting to see, though, how it works for advertisers, because it's a totally different ballgame. You alluded to this earlier, Greg, but hashtags are coming to Google Maps business reviews.
Perfect. I've been waiting so long for this to happen, and it's finally here.
I know you love hashtags in general, especially when they can be added to relevant places. So Google is encouraging folks that are writing new reviews as well as going back and editing their old reviews. They want you to add up to 5 hashtags to help help users understand things about said venue that you're reviewing. So they want you to be descriptive. They don't want you to be like hashtag sup everybody, but the example they used was hashtag good for selfies. So I don't know.
I like it. I'm only going to use that now. Hashtag sup everybody. Like hashtag sup everybody. It's your boy Greg. I'm here at McDonald's. I got the hashtag ketchup and my hashtag fries. I had a hashtag lukewarm apple pie.
Oh, God.
Like, what are people going to do? Like, what are you going to look at? Like, oh, I'm in Memphis. Let me quick check out hashtag food poisoning. Is that what's going on? Like,
Well, actually, that would be helpful.
hashtag
That's very
rats.
descriptive.
We'll hashtag some rats quick and see what's going on. Like, I was going to stay out of there. Here's what's the problem is with all this. It's going to make every review worse. Imagine reading reviews when you have to go through that. It's honestly going to be like, you're going to have to read all these hashtags. Like, who wants this?
Yeah.
Nobody wants it. Get rid of it. Nobody wants to search this.
Google wants it, though. They want you to do it. And
great.
they did also ask very nicely that you put your hashtags at the end. So it's not hashtag sup everybody.
That's
I'm
not
eating
how
my
hashtags are supposed
hashtag
to
pie.
work.
I understand. But they want it. They're at least trying to create some sort of sense of.
But you understand that's not what a
Sanity.
hashtag should be. There should be
I
like a
do
radio
understand. Right.
box to be like, this is American food. This
Yeah.
is
Vegetarian.
Mexican. Yeah, something like that.
Rats here.
You don't be like, you put your own hashtags in.
I know. It'd be nice if they had like pre-filled ones and that was all that you could use. But then again, to your point, then it would just be something else. Hashtags are free for all. It's a wild west.
Hashtag sup everybody. All right. Next up this week, Quora has unveiled their new promoted answers ad unit. We talked about this before. It is now live. It is essentially a boosted version of an answer. So if there's anything out there that you see drive traffic, anything you've done on the ad side of things that has worked really well on Quora, this may be a good opportunity for you to go say, I'm going to write my own answer and it's going to be a phenomenal answer. And I want this to be the top answer down the road, but I just need a little bit of visibility now. You can promote that answer up to the top. So this is actually a phenomenal time for marketers to try this out. So write something amazing. Don't just try to promote trash. That's not going to work. But write something amazing and you can get more visibility towards it and maybe get that to be the top answer, which is actually a awesome opportunity for us all.
Yeah, I feel like it makes good sense that it's a good opportunity to position yourself as a thought leader in a space with a little bit of help from a couple dollars. So.
All right. And that does it for the lightning round. It brings us to this week's newest segment, WTH.
WTH. I love it.
What the heck?
Well, I know.
Or just WTH.
I guess I figured everybody knew what that meant and we didn't need to tell them. But
We'll do it once. From here on out, it's WTH.
WTH. Bing it.
And we talk about something that is just cringy or questionable within the marketing or advertising space. And this week, the Wall Street Journal had an article called Amazon Put Unwanted Sponsored Products in Customers' Baby Registries.
Such a sensitive, go on.
Yes. And the Amazon did do that. The Amazon
The
did
Amazon
it.
did
Yes.
it. They did
And the example that they used and from the screenshot that's showing is very egregious. And you can follow in our show notes and see that. But along with other products that were actually added to a registry, there's a very, very lightly colored gray sponsored option that people see. And there's also a 0 out of 1 purchased.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That is so sketchy.
In the screenshot that was shared. So not only are there sponsored products showing up, but they're also saying that nobody bought this yet.
Well, of course nobody bought it because it's not in the registry.
Well, it should be 0 out of 0.
Right.
How do
You should not.
Or while you're at it, why don't you just say 20? Like 0 out of 20.
Oh, that actually, Greg, that is genius. Because then people will buy, they're going to spend so much. You should run the Amazon because that's a great idea. But this is just so sketchy. This is taking advantage of all the grandmas in the world that are trying to be digital savvy and go on Amazon and do something nice for their wonderful granddaughter that's expecting. Did you see the price, by the way?
No.
On these ads? $500,000 up to $3 million for one of these placements in these sketchy baby red. I'm angry. This is not nice. It's not nice.
That's why I made WTH this week. And then the other thing, Amazon got a lot of flack for this.
Good.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
But what about the companies that are like Pampers is all up like, yeah, I'll just pop into these, I'll pay $500,000 and pop into these registries. They should take some slack too.
They should. You know what? Everyone should look at the screenshot and see what these items are and not buy them. Unless they're good and you want them, then you should buy them. That's not fair. But that's garbage. It's garbage.
WTH.
WTH. Sigh.
All right. And that brings us to this week's must-read marketing article of the week. Article so in-depth, so detailed that we can't get through the whole thing in our episode today. And this week's episode comes from Ian Laurie from Portent. And the article is called 48 Things Digital Marketers Should Be Doing, but Probably Aren't. Ian is a great guy. And the thing I loved about this article is you could tell he's just frustrated. And he even said at the end, and spoiler alert, his 48th tip is just the fact that you need to make your own list. And he just made it when he was frustrated. Ooh. But this is my kind of list where it's not, there's no, this is just steak, no sizzle. And I'm going to give you a few of these items and then you're going to have to read the rest. But he's got them broken down by beginner, intermediate, advanced. One thing is, stop asking me if page speed is a ranking factor. It's an everything factor, period. And it's like,
Sass alert.
That's great.
It's great.
That is great. And then there's like actually really very tangible stuff as well, where one of the recommendations is go into Google Search Console and read the URLs listed as crawled currently not indexed in the coverage report. Identify which pages are important and need to be indexed. Fix them, period. But it's like the no BS stuff that we need, especially at the end of the year when people are taking their foot off the gas. No, put your foot back on. Read Ian's post. Thank you, Ian. It is fantastic. And everybody should check that out.
Absolutely. And that does it for today's show.
It is officially now not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch all the content from today's show on marketingoclock.com or in the descriptions below.
And please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.